everybody, and welcome back. I'm Eggplant Evelyn with Food Literacy Center, and today we have a very exciting recipe to do. I want to thank all the kids who are joining us today to learn a new recipe, but first I have a very important question. Who has tasted cactus before? I have a cactus leaf with me here today because we're going to make our recipe. It's called Cactus and Corn Salsa. So I have a cactus leaf. Who's tasted one before? Maybe you've seen it at the grocery store, or even growing outside or at a neighbor's house, or maybe you visited your local farmer's market and you saw a cactus there. Our cactus leaf that we're using today is about the size of our hand, and it's a nice soft cactus. So again, you can get this at a grocery store or your local farmer's market. And you can make so many delicious recipes, but today we're going to make a salsa. So I hope you're excited for our salsa. You can find a lot of our ingredients that we're using today at your local farmer's market. Right now is the best time. One of our favorite markets to visit is the Oak Park Farmer's Market, where we were able to get most of our ingredients for today. So let's get going on our recipe. We're making a cactus and corn salsa. You can find our supply list and our recipe on our website, and it'll tell you everything that you need. Today we are using a food processor, and if you don't have one, you can always use a blender or even use a vegetable chopper to be able to chop the veggies down really small. Let's get started with our recipe today. So parents, you're up first. You'll need to preheat the oven to 400 degrees and get a lightly greased pan ready. So I have my lightly greased pan ready right here. And kids, you're up next. We're gonna take our cactus leaf, and don't worry, if you're getting this at the store, the spikes have already been taken off, so you can use your cactus leaf with your hands and you don't have to worry about that. And we're going to cut our cactus into large chunks. So we're going to use our claw to be able to cut our cactus. We're going to cut some thick chunks. I'm using my claw. And if it's too hard, you're just gonna really have to go at it with your knife. You can always use your kid-safe knife, or a butter knife will also work with the cactus. So I'm just cutting big chunks. Cut some lines down my cactus, and now I'm going to make some square chunks. So again, use your claw. That way you keep your hands safe and your fingers safe. And make sure you're holding your knife nice and sturdy, because you can get actually a little bit slippery with the cactus. So just one more cut. And now I have my large chunks. The next ingredient that you're going to need is a peeled white onion. So I have my onion already peeled, and we're also going to cut our onion into large chunks. So for this chopping, I'm going to use my tunnel. I'm going to make a tunnel over my onion, and I'm going to cut through down the middle. Now I have two pieces. I'm going to do another tunnel to be able to cut down the middle again. And that will give us our large chunks. We're also going to need a garlic clove already peeled. So I have my garlic right here, and I went ahead and I peeled one garlic clove. We're also going to need a jalapeno. I've already have my jalapeno ready to go in this bowl, and I've already have it cut. So I have my onion and my cactus and our onion, and we're going to be putting that on our lightly greased pan. Here we go. You can take a handful and spread it out. And just add your cactus. Now, this is a cactus and corn salsa, So you can use fresh corn or frozen corn. And if you want to get that roasted flavor with your corn, if you really like roasted corn, kids, ask your parents to add the corn to your pan. That way you'll be able to have that nice roasted pan. So I have our cactus, onion, and I almost forgot my little garlic clove. And we're gonna stick this in the oven at 400 degrees. Now kids, make sure you have your parents help you put this in the oven. And it's going to be in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. And you're going to want to flip them halfway through and make sure they get a nice golden brown color on all ends. That way we're going to be able to make it a salsa. Once you put it in and it's been in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, you're going to want to pull it out and let it cool down. We want our salsa to be nice and fresh and cool. So you're going to want to do this a little bit ahead of time and have it cool down before we get the rest of our recipe started. So we have our 4 ingredients here. And we're going to place it in the oven. I already have some of my ingredients already roasted. So I have my cactus chunks already roasted. You can see they've changed color a little bit. My onion has been roasted, has a nice color on it. I have my garlic clove and the jalapeno that have been roasted. So, again, we're gonna make our salsa. We're gonna put it in our food processor. And again, if you don't have one, you can use a blender or chop it up nice and softly. So, we're going to put our cactus and we're just going to dump it in the food processor. We're going to put our onion chunks, one clove of garlic, and also the jalapeno. Be careful with the jalapeno. Make sure you are washing your hands after you use it. You touch it. That way your hands don't get spicy. And I have a little towel, so I'm going to wipe my hands down. Great. So we have most of our ingredients in here. We just need to add a few more and keep practicing our chopping skills. So we're going to need our measuring cup, our 1 cup measuring cup, and we're going to chop 1 cup of fresh cilantro. So we have my cilantro right here. And you can use your kid's knife again, and you can go ahead and use a claw. And we're just going to chop our cilantro. And because we're putting it in the food processor or a blender at home, depending on what you're using, you can just cut thick chunks because the food processor is going to do the rest of the work for us. So this looks right about a cup. I'm going to fill it up. I have my cup of cilantro. And I'm going to add it to my food processor. Stuff it in there a little bit. The next ingredient that we're going to need is some fresh green onion as well. So we have our green onion right here. Now I'm going to use my claw to take off the ends. And I'm going to cut a cup of green onion. Again, we don't have to cut them very small because we're using our food processor. And if you don't have a food processor and you're using a food chopper, you can still cut them into chunks and the food chopper will cut them down smaller. Okay, I'm using my claw. We have almost a cup ready to go of green onion, and it smells really good. Really fresh. It's easy to cut, especially with our kid's knife. And we're going to do that seesaw motion to really cut down the green onion. So now that I have my 1 cup of green onion, I'll add it to our food processor and stick it in there. Next, we're going to need a 1/4 cup of water. So I have my water here, and we're going to add a 1/4 cup. That's gonna help our salsa be nice and smooth so it won't be too thick and chunky. We also are going to want to juice 1 lime. So I have my juicer with me. There's lots of different juicers you can use, and if you don't have one, you can always squeeze the juice just directly into your food processor or your blender or whatever you're using. So I'm going to use my tunnel to hold both ends of my lime, and I'm going to cut down the middle. So I have 2 halves, and then I'm going to go ahead and juice my lime. I like this juicer because it catches the seeds. That way I'm not going to have any seeds in my salsa. It has little grooves, so only the juice goes all the way through. So that's 1 lime. I'm going to do the other half. If you find that your lime isn't especially juicy, you can always use more than 1, or if you like that lime flavor. But 1 should be just enough. So you're going to keep going and turning your juicer, that way you can get all the lime juice out. So we have our lime juice in here. I'm going to put it in our food processor. That's going to taste really good. Now you can always add a little bit of salt and pepper to taste, but we've added all of our ingredients in here so far. We're going to get to our corn in a little bit. It's going to get loud, so I'm going to go ahead and get our food processor started, and it shouldn't take too long for it to turn into a salsa. Ready? It's mixing, it's turning a bright green color. All of the ingredients are getting mixed together. And I say we're just about done. That was about maybe 30 seconds that we blended it, and it's just about done. I'm going to leave this in here for now. We're going to wait to see what it looks like because we have to have our corn. Now we have our corn that we roasted. So you can use fresh corn or you can use frozen corn, and if you want to get that roasted flavor again, you can put it in the oven with the rest of your ingredients. And kids, this is something that you're going to have your parents help you with. We're going to take the corn off of the cob so we can sprinkle it in our salsa. So I like to have the bigger side down on the table so it's more steady, and at a little bit of an angle. And I'll take a sharp knife, so parents, this is something for you to do. And we're just going to lightly go down the side of our corn and be able to take the nice kernels off of the corn. So I already have some corn ready. I'm just going to take some of this corn off. It can get a little messy, so have a big bowl ready. And I have my bowl of corn right here ready. You're going to want about 1 cup, or 1 cup again. You're going to want about 1 cup of corn. So I'm going to move some of these things out of the way now that we're done chopping. And I have a nice bowl that we're going to serve our salsa in. Are you guys ready to see what our salsa looks like? All right. We're going to take the lid off. And I'm going to use my little 1 scoop. I forgot to bring a spoon. And we're going to put the salsa in our bowl. And remember, this is a cactus salsa. Who's had a cactus salsa before? This is an exciting new food that we get to try. I didn't end up needing this. I'm going to show you the beautiful green color in our salsa. So you can see it right there, just so green. I can really smell the onion and the cilantro. I'm very excited. So what we're going to want to do is add our corn. So this is about a cup of corn. We're just gonna add all of our corn in. And you can add it on top, you can mix it in. Mixing it in will be really fun because you'll get to mix the colors together. And we're going to use veggies to dip into our cactus corn salsa. I have a nice plate of veggies ready, prepared. I have carrots, celery, and also some cucumber that I'm going to dip into there. And I'm gonna use my celery stick. I'm also just going to mix it around a little bit. And I'm gonna take my first bite of cactus corn salsa. Ooh, that's a little spicy, be careful. And remember, you can also add a little bit of salt and pepper, but I really don't think it needs any salt and pepper. I think it's perfect just as it is. I'm really excited we got to make this recipe with everyone. Remember, we got a lot of our ingredients, our corn, our green onion, our cilantro, our limes, our carrots at the farmer's market. And you can visit your local farmer's market to get fresh ingredients and support our local farmers and make something fresh, yummy, crunchy, and sweet to have at home. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Again, I'm Eggplant Evelyn with Food Literacy Center, and we'll be back next Friday with another recipe to share. Bye!